Good morning. Lovely to be with you again. I hope all is well with you. Our reflection is on Mark chapter 2, beginning at verse 23 and then going through to chapter 3, verse 6. One Sabbath, Jesus was going through the cornfields, and as his disciples walked along, they began to pick some ears of corn. The Pharisees said to him, "Look, why are they doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" He answered, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry and in need? In the days of Abiathar, the high priest, he entered the house of God and ate the consecrated bread, which is lawful only for priests to eat. And he also gave some to his companions." Then he said to them, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath." Another time Jesus went into the synagogue, and a man with a shriveled hand was there. Some of them were looking for a reason to accuse Jesus, so they watched him closely to see if he would heal him on the Sabbath. Jesus said to the man with the shriveled hand, "Stand up in front of everyone." Then Jesus asked them, "Which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill?" But they remained silent. He looked around them in anger and, deeply distressed at their stubborn hearts, said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He stretched it out, and his hand was completely restored. Then the Pharisees went out and began to plot with the Herodians how they might kill Jesus. I was surprised that I hadn't spotted before that the Pharisees were actually disobeying Sabbath rules themselves when they complained about Jesus. Instead of quietly staying at home or at the synagogue, they were roaming around looking for people who were sinning on the Sabbath. They were actively working at their job of being moral policemen. Their attitude to resting on the seventh day, which God had ordained, was the precise opposite to what God intended. God wanted everyone to have a day that they could relax on, stop working and be with friends and family. God wanted them to enjoy themselves and be happy. But the unrealistic expectations of the Pharisees meant that people were always looking over their shoulders to see if they were going to be reprimanded. In the past, the rules about Sunday reflected this restrictive attitude, totally against the wishes of Jesus. My mother used to tell us all sorts of silly stories from her youth, and one of them was a story of a school friend of hers who had such curly hair that it was like a hat on her head, and she couldn't fit a real hat on it. So she had an official letter from the vicar to allow her not to wear a hat on Sunday. Every time someone complained, she had to show the letter. A ridiculous situation to people of these days, but there are plenty of taboos that we impose on other people, whether by actually saying something or simply by facial expression and tutting. Our default position should be, would Jesus like what I'm doing or saying, or would he want me to stretch out my hand to help someone, just as he did, in defiance of the authorities, the hand of love and friendship? Whether on a Sunday or any other day of the week, Jesus asks us to seek his help and healing, just like that man with the withered hand. He asks us to help him in his task of healing, to help the lonely by befriending, to help the young mother by encouraging, to help the child by ensuring their safety. And above all, to pray for the wisdom and compassion to assist us in those tasks. And to replace criticism with understanding and tolerance, to replace self-righteousness with humility. Lord, forgive us when we are less than kind, when we are judgmental, when we dismiss other people. Help us to be humble of heart, gentle and loving to all whom we meet today. Amen. Have a great week. See you soon. God bless.